This is Girls Stop Playin, a weekly show that empowers Black women to stop playing with their potential so they can live a life that they love. I'm Koereyelle, your favorite homegirl, and I'm on a mission to help Black women make the money and get the honey. You can have it all as long as you're willing to work. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Stop Playin podcast. It's your favorite homegirl, Koereyelle, here to encourage you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. You already know that I'm bringing you the information and the conversations to help you make the money and get the honey. You can have it all as long as you are willing to work. And you already know we got a working woman in the building. And baby, this has been a long time coming. We got my girl, the Shelah Marie, joining us.
Hi.
Hey, boo.
Yes, come on, intro.
Come on, intro. She was over here cracking up. I'm like, girl, let me try to do my little thug thizzle. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me and being patient. We've been working on this for a minute.
For a little minute.
And now we're here.
Listen, I believe in timing. I believe in things happening when they're meant to happen. So, I never stress those types of things. But do you do many podcast interviews?
Not really.
I felt like that.
I don't.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, we'll wait it out. We'll wait it out because we're going to get some exclusives. But I am super excited to have you here. I don't know. I'm not even going to lie about how I connected with you on Instagram from years and years ago. Like, not connected, but just started following you. That's what I started following you on Instagram. Don't know how, but we ended up doing the Black Love show together last year, and it was super dope to be able, because we had already connected, and then we ended up getting that opportunity together, and then we got to do it with our husbands, which is always cool. So I was excited to have that opportunity, and I'm always excited to share dope people on my platform. So thanks for being here.
Like meets like.
Yes. Okay, so for those who don't know, because most people, how do you feel like most people know you? As or from what?
Depends where you know me from. Like, some people will know me through my husband. They'll be like, oh, that's Ace Hood wife. And then a lot of people will be like, that's that girl, she do some type of meditation. Or a lot of people think I do yoga. I teach yoga. I don't.
Okay.
They just know me online.
They just know you online. And I feel like your vibe, I feel like they might see you, but your vibe is what like pulls people in. And one of the things that I just want to give you your flowers and let the people know, people always talk about consistency in real life versus on Instagram. And what you present on Instagram seems to be very much what you give in reality. And so I love that you are authentically yourself and you have found a way to be very vulnerable, do it in an authentic way, and connect with people, which I think is why people love you so much.
Thank you.
I mean,
I don't have a good enough memory to lie, so I have to just...
I just got to tell the truth.
What you
can't
see
do all
is
of
what
that.
you get.
So I do think that the wellness part brings a lot of people in. How did you get into wellness, studying wellness, being interested in wellness? Like, what was your journey to...
I come from a background where I had suffered from anxiety and depression and like low self-esteem for my whole life, really. And so in my 20s, I just was in this relationship, and it was a very abusive and toxic relationship. And there was just this moment where he did something that reminded me of my experience when I was younger. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dating my mom. Like, it's not my mom, but it's like my mom's energy in a different body. And I took that moment and I said, you know what? I don't know what I have to do, but whatever I have to do to not live this experience again through different people and different bodies, I'm going to do. So it was just that moment where I was like, I want to be in a healthy situation. I'm tired of feeling like these little down thoughts about myself. So I started meditation, and then my roommates brought me to yoga, and I was like, my favorite part was just laying down, shavasana. And I was like, okay, this is just meditation. And then it just grew from there. Started sharing my journey online in like 2016. And the rest is history.
The rest is history. Baby, a man will have you tapping into that mental health, right? Going through these, but your mama too, because that's another point that we're going to talk about.
I feel like our closest relationships do tell us a lot about who we are.
Especially when it's the relationship, when we're talking about the maternal relationship. And I have had so many conversations about the mother wound and just mommy issues on the podcast, where I thought that I was unique. I thought I was out here special having my mommy issues. Yeah. But baby, I put these episodes out and literally thousands of women are like, oh my God, I've never heard anybody talk like this. I've never been able to even verbalize my issues because There's so much shame behind it. There's never a safe space to talk about having issues with your mother.
No.
But put a pin in that, because I love that you took accountability and you realized in your relationship, you realized, okay, I'm the point of attraction for everything that's going on in my life. So if I don't figure this out right now, tomorrow I'm gonna meet somebody else that's gonna show up in a different body, but giving me the same energy. The fact that you were able to connect that to your mom, though, is big.
I don't even think it was me. It was beyond me. It was like I had a flash. Like I was just there and he was talking, but like it just flashed. I was like 5 years old back in my house and I was like, okay, I get it. I get it now. I get it.
You can see the dots.
I do want to comment though on accountability. I think that there's a lot of talk about accountability. Like if you're a Black woman, you cannot go one day without hearing accountability online and somebody is telling you need to take more accountability. And I actually think the opposite. I personally think that women, and specifically Black women, are trained and socialized from a very young age to take accountability all the time for thinking about, did you do this for someone else? We're always serving, thinking about how our person shows up, how we interact with other people. Women consistently take responsibility for men's behavior, for their husband's behavior, for their children's behavior. Even though it'll be two parents, it'll usually fall back on a mom, which is probably why you have a high percentage of women that will come on your podcast and talk about mother issues. We don't see that same percentage about talking about daddy issues. Like
the issue is just he wasn't here. That's the only, that's the conversation. So yes, I feel all of that. I feel like Black women, we have a special set of circumstances. We have this whole post-traumatic slave syndrome thing that's going on in the back of our that's going on in the back of our head, that's literally dictating what we think, how we behave, what we accept, what we attract, what we entertain, all of those things. And I do think that we have to give ourselves grace. I do think that we have to make sure that we are not trying to show up as a strong Black woman and be the superhero and save everybody and do all of the things. I am 1,000% in agreement with that. The other side, though, that I feel like accountability is so important is I think a lot of conversation becomes, I have been the victim of these circumstances. Now, when it comes to your mama, baby, I'm the victim. I don't care. I'm the victim because I didn't ask to be here. Spirit, I chose my parents. I get all of that. But baby, at the end of the day, in that situation, we were children, so we were the victim to an adult. But when it comes to being a grown-ass woman and getting into relationship after relationship after relationship after relationship that's toxic, and still being attracted and not even realizing that you're attracted to this thing, that's where I feel like the accountability sometimes is missing.
Yes, and I would just challenge that and say, like, well, what is the intention for accountability? To me, I always hear about accountability, but what it sounds like is you just want an opportunity to shame women in another capacity. Not you.
No, I get it.
But the
conversation.
It's like, what happens after? I want to know what will happen after that part.
After the accountability?
What is First of all, what does that even look like? You cannot take accountability if you're not in community with people. I cannot take how do I be accountable with someone who's a stranger?
Well, see, I don't think you have to be accountable to anyone else. I just mean yourself, because you're the only one experiencing
I was just saying online. But I do want to say that
got you.
What I would ask is, like, what do you want from the accountability? To me, for me personally, when I looked at that situation, I tried to take accountability on a sense of like, yes, absolutely. I chose to be here. I picked this guy. I really wanted him. I am responsible here, but not in a victim blaming way. And I think sometimes the accountability conversation sounds like victim blaming. It doesn't sound encouraging. It doesn't sound inspiring. It sounds like you need to take accountability so I can shame you and point the finger at you, as opposed to you need to take accountability because of how much power you have over your own life.
I think the action behind the accountability is what is often a missing part of the conversation. Because when it's just, this is all that you did wrong, then yes, it is very much so. Okay, I did it. Now what am I supposed to do with that? Yes, I did it wrong. Okay, now what? I get that.
That's what I'm saying.
But the other side of it, in my opinion, is being accountable to yourself so that you can experience what you truly desire. Because I don't care who you are. You don't desire to be in an abusive relationship. You don't desire to be in a toxic relationship. So based on what you desire for yourself, not what anybody else tells you you should want or you should be doing, but what you want, based on that desire, how did you get yourself here? That's the accountability. You don't have to tell that to nobody. You don't have to say that to anybody. This is a me conversation. Right. And when I found myself in an abusive relationship, it literally came down to me and me saying, that's mental illness. How did I get here? How did I attract this man? Right. How did he even get my number? How did I know him for this amount of time? I was so in my head like, what did I do? That was the accountability. So yeah, I was kind of blaming myself because I had to in order to get to, it wasn't you. I can't blame him for showing up and dragging me when I was a willing participant, but it was the action on the other side, the self-work, when you started tapping into wellness, it's what am I going to do to heal the inside of me so that what is coming out of me is not going to go out and attract that same mess, which a lot of women find themselves in that revolving door of.
Well, it sounds like you use your accountability as a vehicle to be more
to take
of who
action.
You want to be.
Yes.
Like to change your circumstance.
Yes. But you too. I think that's what
positive.
So you don't think you did the same thing?
No, I do. I just feel like there's a lot of conversation using the word accountability that is actually very demeaning.
Gotcha.
It's not uplifting.
I think it's a lot of times how you say it also. But sometimes there is
to me,
a level
what is
of
the intention. Why are you saying? Like not you.
What do you think the true intention of accountability is?
It depends on who it's coming from.
Okay. So but in that situation, if you're talking to a girlfriend, if you have a girlfriend, she's in an abusive relationship, she maybe just got out of it, and you're like, okay, what would that conversation look like? Like in a non-shaming, non-judgmental, but how do you feel like that conversation could go that could be constructive, solution-based, and hopefully help her to actually see that aha moment, like have that
I would focus less on giving her advice. That's what I've learned over time.
Okay.
And more on supporting her and giving her the experience of safety and trying to like remind her of like how great she is. Because usually when you're in a situation like that, you have chronically low self-esteem. You have a low view about yourself. And so I would try to focus on building her up so that her energy outgrows that experience that she's in. I mean, I can't do that for her. Only she can. But if I was her friend, I would just try to support that. Because I've learned that, like, you can have the right advice and the right intentions, but if someone isn't ready to hear it, that's just where they are in their journey. There might be a reason who we don't see now that they need to. What if she, after all this experience, goes out to write a book about her experience and changes life? I don't know her story. So to me, I like giving advice, but I try. Like I realize in that situation, not everybody's receptive. I'm also gauge how she's doing and be there for her.
I love that we come to these conclusions and have these perspectives and opinions, usually based on our experiences. Yeah. Because I was that friend that is like, I'm going to stay out of your business. I'm going to just let you, baby, if you want to crash and burn, I'm not in the car with you. You do what you want to do. But when I found myself in an abusive relationship and none of my friends said anything, until after I got out of it. And then they were like, you know what? I was thinking, I don't care how mad you are at me. If I care about you, I'm going to tell you what I see. I'm going to tell you, I might not give you advice, but I'm going to tell you what I see. I'm going to make an observation. I'm going to tell you, I think.
Yes. Let me add that in. I definitely.
Wait a minute. Because don't let me be black and blue and you sitting down talking about, I thought something was going on over there. So I think there's a part of us that we don't necessarily have to judge people. We don't have to shame people, but sometimes we can pull people out of something that they don't even see that they're in.
Cosign. I'm going to just cosign that. I don't even have nothing to add. I agree with you on that.
When it comes to being a well-kept woman, though, because I'm on this whole well-kept woman thing where it's mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, like we are taking better care of ourselves. What does that look like for you? Like, what does being well-kept mean to you? When I say that, what comes to mind?
I actually wanted to know what I was
what that was?
I was like, well-kept woman. I was like wondering, what do you think a well-kept woman is in your mind?
So in my opinion, a well-kept woman is a woman who is intentional about her wellness and her well-being. So outside of looking the part, showing up and being the part. So the whole be, do, have. I'm going to be this person. I'm going to go out and do the things. And then I'm going to have all the things that I desire. So being well, whatever that looks like for you, I don't think there's necessarily a cookie cutter definition like we're all aspiring to live the same life.
Right.
But whatever that looks like for you, I'm being intentional about it all the way around. So mentally, I'm making sure my thoughts are in alignment. I'm making sure my words are in alignment. I'm making sure the things that I go out and do are in alignment. And I'm focusing on my health and wellness at the same time.
I love that. For me, a well-kept woman in my mind is a woman that has the luxury of a regulated nervous system.
Oh, okay. Pause. And this is a me question. Explain regulated nervous system, because I've seen this term so much and I'm like, I think I get it, but for people who are like me and like, what does that mean?
Well, your nervous system is connected to your triggers. It's connected to your automatic responses, that ancient part of our lizard brain. And so to me, when your nervous system is dysregulated, you're going to be reactive.
Okay.
You're going to be constantly on edge. You might find yourself acting in ways that you feel like are not towards your highest good. Why did I respond like that? Why did I say that? I couldn't control you can't control myself. I'm just you're out of whack. To me, you don't have a sense of alignment and control over how you react to things. To me, a regulated nervous system means I can be calm when I want to. I know how to I don't like the word control. I don't like to use the phrase control your emotions, but I know how to be in touch with them.
Manage them. You can,
I can
manage
say,
them.
oh, that triggered me. I can, it's almost like you can be the watcher of yourself.
You can identify it versus the feeling of it.
I don't need to act on it.
Gotcha.
I can watch things. I notice that really annoyed me, but do I need to say something about it? Maybe not. I have the choice. A regulated nervous system means you get to choose. You get to choose how you show up. You get to choose how you respond. You know what? That person really offended me. I'm not going to say something right now, though. I'm going to get my thoughts together. And then as opposed to getting on the phone and then you feel bad about it and then you burned a bridge. So that's, to me, a well-kept woman is a woman who has her nervous system regulated, which has a whole, slew of effects in the body for women. So,
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
I love her. I love
Baby,
her.
if that is not a regulated nervous system, though, that's what was coming to me, because
She's a great
I was
example.
triggered watching these
We were all
episodes, and
saying
this
that.
man wasn't even talking to me.
We were all saying, we were like, what? Why are you?
How was he? And she was just poised.
You see?
Her tone. She a masterclass, baby. If you have
She's
not
a
seen this woman
masterclass.
gathering these men with grace and looking good while she's doing it, baby. Come, Dr. Cheyenne, come on down to Girl Stop Playing, okay?
And you see how far you get with that?
Listen, and look at your eyes. Even how you're doing me right now. What you're doing right now, I got to figure out how to make it work. But it's that. And the other thing that I was thinking while you were talking, Dr. Bryan was coming to mind, but then wife kept coming to mind, because the definition of managing my mental health in my marriage is being regulated, not letting things trigger me, knowing when, okay, this is something that we really need to talk about versus I'm not going to care 5 minutes from now. And I know I'm not, so I don't care that I'm triggered right now. That is what was coming to mind, is how tough it will be to maintain a healthy, happy marriage if you have an unregulated nervous system.
It's tough to maintain anything, because wherever you go, there you are. So if you're chronically dysregulated, that's going to show up with your kids. I mean, that some people would argue that's even why people beat their kids, because they can't regulate themselves and their emotions, and then they just tap out. But
baby, I ain't never beat my kid. But there have been situations where I could feel that spirit. Yeah. We're going to talk about it. I could feel that spirit coming up in me. But I have evolved enough to feel that spirit and be like, girl, you mad at a 3-year-old? Girl, what are you doing? Like, girl, get out of here. But a lot of people don't stop there. They do whatever comes from that anger, and then to your point, they become abusive.
Well, you brought up post-traumatic slave syndrome, and a lot of us have generations of unresolved trauma that's passed down, and I'm sure you know of epigenetics. If you're a woman like me.
What your grandmama was going through, baby, it's coming through.
Right,
That's crazy.
Like in my case, my grandmother was also had anxiety, and then you got her cells, and she's carrying my mom, who already has all her cells that are going to create me. So I got the experience of anxiety in my grandmother's body, then in my mom's body her whole life, then in her womb, and then I came out and had the experience and the conditioning from seeing it every day. And it's like, I wonder why I'm anxious. Some of it's not even ours.
Most of it, I would argue, is not
and that's
ours.
About Unruly. That's my whole book is about that. It's like this story I heard. I don't even know where I heard this story, but this guy, his wife, she was making some type of loaf, and she just cut the ends off of it.
Yep.
And
go ahead.
Yeah, she cut the ends off of it, and she's like, oh, this is just how my mom does it. And then one day for a holiday, they went to her mother's house, and she was making a roast, and she didn't cut the ends off of it. And the daughter was like, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to cut the ends off of it. She's like, oh, that's just when we didn't have the right pans. Now we have the right pans that fit the roast. I don't need to cut it off anymore. But a lot of us are doing things out of habit, automation, just because that's just how my aunties do it. That's just how my mom do it. And I think some of that's great. That's culture. That's tradition. Pass it down to recipes. But some of it is not towards your highest good. Like, at least if you've not had a curious investigation with it, you're just taking it on and you're performing things. Like, I come from the theater world, so I think about life like a performance, but you're just performing a role, a script that somebody gave to you, as opposed to being like, do I like these words? Do I like this scene? Is this where I want to be?
Yes, that to me, so many women, I don't know if this is a man thing, but so many women find ourselves in circumstances that other people got us into, based on what our mama said we should do, based on what the choices our best friend made, based on how we, like based on things that are outside of ourselves. We literally let other people dictate our destiny just based on their opinions, their doubts, their fears. So many parents raise their kids based on their fears, or based on what happened to them, based on what didn't work out for them, based on what they're triggered by. So it's so important, y'all, that we become as healed as we can. I don't think it's healed. I think it's healing. Like we're on a journey.
Correct.
But if you're not even willing to do it for yourself, for your kids, for the future generations, because what you're experiencing, your grandbabies are going to be, living their lives based on what you're experiencing, how you're
No,
feeling,
I
how
want
you're
women to
treating
do it
yourself.
for themselves.
Me too, but some women don't have, they like, girl,
Or
I can
I
figure it out.
wanted them to do it for the versions of themselves that could live, that could be.
But there are women that don't even believe that that's a version out there. Some people literally, I can't do it for me, but if I see my child, I can find the inspiration. So whatever you got to find that inspiration, because there's a version of yourself that you deserve to meet. There's a version of yourself that your children deserve to be raised by. There's just a version of yourself, a version of life that you deserve to experience. And if we are making decisions based on other people, we're never going to feel fulfilled. Because even if you achieve those things, you're going to get it and be like,
it's true.
This ain't what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So what does unruly mean?
Yeah, I think unruly means reclaiming all the lost parts of yourself. I'm in the self-development space.
Okay.
It's a crowded lane right now. There's a lot of talk about all the ways that you need to be better. You need to, be a six-figure earner. You need to work out more. You need to do this. You need to do this. There's all this messaging that, like, you're not okay the way you are. Let me give you this thing so you can be better. I didn't want that from my book. I wanted my book to come from a place of, first of all, you already are everything you need to be right now. Like, even if you never changed another thing about yourself, okay? You're not here to be a fixer or a project. You're not, this is not Barbara the Builder. Shout out to Shelah. I don't know your opinions on Shelah. We don't know.
We can talk about Shelah. Let's talk about Shelah. Shelah is interesting.
Yeah,
there's a lane.
There's a
lane
lot
for
there.
Shelah. There is a woman who needs a Shelah. So yeah.
Facts. But I already forgot what I was saying. What was I saying?
You were saying living in your lane. You wrote the book because you didn't want people to have to. That's what she was saying, right? Right?
I love your recap. Something about a lane.
You didn't want people to have to live in your lane. You want people to do their own thing, reclaim versions of yourself.
There you go.
Right? I threw out some keywords.
It's so funny the way you did that, like, yeah. But yes, it's not that you need to. It's not like you need to just move towards an aspirational version of yourself. However, when you reclaim I feel like it's this. There's all this juice. There's all this wisdom. There's all this knowledge that we all are born with. Mm-hmm. We all have within us, but we get disconnected from it. So I'm not saying you need to be different. I'm just saying you need to reclaim those parts, call them back in, and see how you can use them to perform in a more authentic way.
We get disconnected because we get distracted.
Yes.
We get distracted by being performative, showing up and doing what people tell us to do, making money, going to work. When I look at just the American lifestyle versus
I want to leave
almost every other lifestyle out
I want to leave so bad.
We're the only ones who define ourselves by the work we do. We're the only ones that choose where we're going to live by the job we have. Our jobs dictate our entire life. Where other countries and cultures, their life dictates their life. Their job is just something they do during the day. It's just a part of their life. It's not their entire life. And that's why I think we have to be more intentional on wellness and focusing on ourselves. And I know you know this, but there are studies out there that say 80 to 90% of all diseases and illnesses are stress related. So what are you doing on a daily basis to care for yourself?
You literally looped right back into what I was going to say again. I was going to loop it back into a regulated nervous system. In my case, for example, on my fertility journey, I'm going through all the tests, doing through all the things. I'm having miscarriages. I'm trying to figure out why. And one thing I discovered through all the testing was that my adrenal glands were exhausted from chronic stress, and they dysregulated other hormones that then had all an array of impacts in my body, including miscarrying. And so I think that when I think about wellness, when I think about being well, that I cannot stress enough the regulated nervous system. And that includes, what am I eating? not drinking coffee on an empty stomach, things like that. Making sure that I have a healthy sleep schedule. I love the Ladder app. I don't know if you ever heard it. It's like a workout.
Enlighten us.
It's like I think it's spelled like regular, like ladder. Yeah. And it's like an app where you can do like these workouts, and it's just great. Like it doesn't matter where I am. Tell me about it. 30 minutes. It's just 30 minutes.
What kind of workout is it?
Whatever you want. You can put in like, do I like Pilates? Do I want to do weights? Do I want to do cardio? Do I have a treadmill?
Don't listen to me, y'all. Be better than me. Go ahead.
That's okay. That's where you are, you know? Like if
I'm good where I am, right? If I never did anything else.
Exactly.
Okay.
Literally.
Thank you.
Literally. And also be open to change. Like, but the more you accept where you are, you actually evolve immediately. Like instead of chasing this evolution, I feel like it's accepting where you are, and that is the evolution. So anyway, Ladder app, that's for my workouts. And I love tapping lately. I've been doing a lot
EFT, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is it? Tell the people. You don't have to, don't
emotional,
feel pressure like you're an expert. But
no, I'm not an expert on it at all, but emotional freedom technique. And it's just tapping at different meridian points in the body. And you say certain phrases like, let's say, like, I don't know, give me an idea, something that I would be working on. Like,
you have or for me or for you?
Anybody. I'll just do it.
Okay. You are a mother of healthy babies.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So let's say that's me on my fertility journey, which I'm not a mother of a healthy baby yet, but I will be.
But we're speaking it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but tapping would just be like, also you can look online, guys, like YouTube. I like Brad Yates. He does a lot of tapping, but you'll find it. But you would just tap and be like, even though I'm not a mother yet, I still fully love and accept myself.
Okay.
Even though I don't have biological children right now, I'm still worthy and completely of everything that I desire. Even though, like, and so you just do these phrases and you tap at these different meridian points on your body, here, here, and here. And I find tapping is great because it's somatic. So a lot of us are used to, like Western thought tells us, our brain is our most powerful instrument and we need to think through everything and be logical. And if I can write it down and if I can think through it in Excel and ABC, EFD, I can understand my trauma. Intellectual, like your intellectual mind is not the only part of your healing process. It's not your only sense of intelligence. So I love EFT because it taps into maybe the emotions or energies that might be trapped in your body.
That you don't even know are there.
And it just takes 5 minutes and I don't have to sometimes people find meditation isn't accessible. I can't calm down. You can do tapping anywhere. And to me, I find it's a great strategy for me right now. So that's one way that I keep myself calm.
Have you tried EMDR?
Yeah, love. Really? EMDR is another one. One reason that I recommend EMDR is...
Yep, I wasn't even going to make you do that. Desensitization.
Yeah, reprocessing. There it is. Yeah, it's eye movement, desensitization, reprocessing. I remember.
I did it.
I love EMDR. One reason that I recommend EMDR is because like talk therapy can be costly. You might do, I mean, I've been in therapy for years. Like you can do talk therapy for years and still feel, you know what I'm saying? EMDR, I ain't gonna hold you. You can do 4 sessions and see actual measured change. It's the same idea. It's a somatic practice where you work on reprocessing. That's why it's reprocessing. So you take a traumatic memory and you reprocess it and activating your left and right brain. It's a therapist has to guide you. I don't think you should start out EMDR on your own. Highly, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Okay. So that's another confirmation because I feel like when these things just come up, I can't even say I've been wanting to try it. I actually made an appointment, went to the office, and the therapist ended up getting sick. And I'm like, I'm such a big, is this a sign? Does this mean
me too. I was like,
ugh. But I've literally had 3 people. You're the 3rd person since that appointment that's like 10 out of 10 got to do it. So
if you do it, let me know how it goes.
Okay, I'll do that.
It's way less to me scary than maybe talk therapy.
Because it's not as, I mean, I don't know, but I would imagine it's not as vulnerable because you're not talking as much as you would in regular talk therapy, right?
You're still vulnerable because you're working from a traumatic memory, but I would say it's less in-depth talking about it. Like, it's like you just tell what happened, and then she asks you, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense do you feel in your body? Okay, great, let's do a round. Like, before you even get a chance, you're like, oh, I'm just doing a round. You're following the eyes, da-da-da. And then she'll ask you again, on a scale of 1 to 10 now, how strongly do you feel it?
Do you have anybody in your life that thinks you're crazy?
All
because
the time.
of all of the things?
Well, actually, no.
Okay.
Because
does that mean
part of my wellness is that I don't consistently keep myself around people who are going to dismiss me, minimize me, or challenge me, or are committed to misunderstanding me. So actually, I'm surrounded by the witches. You know, I'm surrounded with, hey, where my broom at?
Yeah.
You know, I'm surrounded by the women who are healing through nature and doing nudist retreats and
nudist retreats. You been to one?
I hosted one. That was my first retreat. I didn't.
Girl, that was not on my notes. Wait a minute.
It was
you
a
hosted
mistake.
a nudist retreat?
Well, it wasn't. Yes, and it was my favorite, and I actually wish I could do it again. If I could, I would do them more. But I just get. I don't know. I'm a little bit more.
I'm sorry.
Now,
wait.
I don't know.
Wait. How did you accidentally host a nudist retreat? Was this a women only? Was it what girl?
Women only. So.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, it was magnificent.
What?
I love it. That's a whole, again, where you ask me, do I, no, I don't, because like my people are people who are
your people are your people. Yeah.
So, well, what happened was we were co-producing a retreat with another group and they recommended this place and they were like, oh, it's clothing optional. There's a side of the resort that's, you can be nude if you want to. So I just thought, oh, okay, we'll mostly just stay on the side that's not. But then I got there and I was like, oh, it's a little more intense than I thought. And everybody chose to be on the nude side. Even we didn't have to be. Like, you could choose. And, like, the first night, it was almost 100 of us, and we were all in the nude side. And everybody was like, oh, my God, your C-section scar is so cute. And look at your piercing.
Stop playing with me.
Oh, my God, you look amazing. Like, I've never felt more free in my life than that moment. Nobody was worried about what they have on, their clothes, what they look like, their weight, cellulite, none of that. Because when you get in a room full of, like, that many women, you just see, like, everybody's bodies are so different. It was so freeing. We were running in the ocean naked. It was
girl. I be at the Jeju like this, looking around.
Exactly.
Like, oh my God,
and
the ladies
why?
walking naked in the. I don't know. I'm a weirdo.
All
maybe
this shame.
Maybe I need to
You're
work
not
through
a
this
weirdo.
EMDR. Maybe I need to work through it. But baby, I would have showed up.
You're in a world that tells you you should be ashamed.
I would have
of your
showed
body.
up to your retreat and got right on my line, like, baby, I didn't get down to this hotel.
That's what you
down
think.
Here.
That's what you think.
Wow.
That's what you think.
And it was a transformational
You would have been in that pool
experience.
too.
Girl, I would have just, oh, wow. I would have been unruly.
Because like the environment, like my retreats are so special and I am so proud of this. We are adamant and uncompromising in creating a certain energetic experience.
And those are the people who are attracted to you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Those type of women are the ones. Have you ever had anybody that didn't get in line? Or no, you just haven't even had to deal with that?
Yes. Yeah.
I could tell by how your eyes was rolling up. She got something right here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just
and if that's the case, I have to uninvite that person, or I have to, because I just can't compromise the group and the integrity of the group.
Well, I asked about people thinking that you're crazy, not necessarily your friends, because we select those people.
Oh, but people outside,
like your family, like your family.
Oh yeah, they all think I'm crazy.
Crazy one that she always doing this, and she over there doing that.
Well, everybody in my family crazy, child. So I'm just a different flavor. We're already everybody got something. My flavor is Shelah be doing all that weird, girl. What is that? But I think
just kind of comes along with it.
People just know that that's me, and it is what it is, and I'm glad, because I wouldn't want to be normal, because what is that even? Like, I don't know. I just want to be me.
Be yourself. Yeah. Yourself is pretty dope.
Thanks.
When it comes to the healing journey, I be going to all the therapy. I be having great conversations like this. I be reading the books, listening to the audiobooks, learning how to, I guess, regulate my nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'll get triggered.
That's okay.
When you get triggered, what does that look like for you? Not even triggered, because triggered is like, okay, somebody done pissed you off. That, not triggered. When you're dealing with something, and you could be a God-fearing woman, you could be religious, you could have a spiritual connection, you could have all the faith in the world. But then life throws you a curveball that's like, oh, that wasn't on my bingo card. Or, oh, God, I thought I was your girl. In those moments, how do you respond?
You know what? I think I felt like that, like, after my second miscarriage. I was like, really? That's how you feel, God? Like, wow. Like, really? Wow. Like, what did I do? Like, dang, I thought we was... I never thought you would... Like, literally, that is the last experience. I never... thought that I would be where I am today. That I don't have any children yet biologically, although I do have bonus children, which I love dearly. But I never thought I would have to struggle. I thought, I'll just, whenever I want to, I'll just have one. And so that definitely was a moment where I was like, a lot of rage came up, a lot of disappointment. I felt almost angry at spirit. Like, you know, you betrayed me. I thought we had a relationship.
We talked about this.
Yeah. And the way you go through it is to just go through it. It's like, you know, going on a bear hunt. Can't go over it, can't go under. You just have to go through it. And to me, where I think a lot of us go wrong is because partly because I'm not going to talk about capitalism, but partly because of it affects us, all of these things around us. We don't have time sometimes to really honor our emotional experience. We don't have time to grieve sometimes. We don't have time to mourn. But I do think it is necessary, like, for us to feel the feelings. Like, that rage that I experienced towards spirit, like, there might be an impulse to bypass that or to bulldoze it and just be like, that's wrong. You shouldn't feel like that. That's not a good feeling. It doesn't matter. It's your feeling. Whatever is showing up needs to be honored. It would not show up in your life, in your body, in your consciousness if it didn't have a purpose. I purposely don't think we're very resourceful. We reduce, reuse, recycle. So if something is showing up in my life, it's there for a reason. There's some unmet need. There's something that I need to address. So for me, I just went through it. All the emotions. I went through the grieving, the mourning, the rage, the anger, and then I came back out on the other side better. You can't get the reward without actually feeling those feelings and working through them. Just bypassing it, it's likely that you'll just experience that same thing in another dynamic.
When we sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
Or pretend like it's not there.
Yeah. I honor it. It's a part of me.
I first want to just offer you my condolences I don't think this is a conversation that we have until these are things we go through, right? Because and thankfully this has not been my experience, but when I got pregnant, I was in a Facebook group of like women who got pregnant the same month. Like, we're all having our babies this month. There were so many women that were dropping out of that group, that were losing their babies, that I have not had close girlfriends that have experienced this. So I didn't realize how common this was.
So common.
So often we think getting pregnant is the thing. Staying pregnant.
There you go.
Getting to the finish line. And not even getting to the finish line. Coming home with a healthy baby. Baby, that is a blessing.
As a Black woman in America,
that is a blessing that we take for granted every single day. So I just want to offer you,
thank you,
whatever I can offer you of just encouragement to just, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. But dealing with that publicly though, Shelah, how?
Yeah.
Because you talk about this, you're vulnerable, and that again is why I think so many people are just drawn to you, because people will go through that and hide. People will go through that and feel so much shame or feel so much whatever comes along with it and keep it to themselves. But for women, I see them in your comments that are like, yo, me too. That are like, oh my God, how are we going to get through this? And that to me is the gift in the pain. But how do you deal with it publicly?
Well, I discovered that I have endometriosis. Finally got a diagnosis. And what I discovered is I feel like a lot of women were just suffering in silence. And I did that for a while too. There is a distinction between the public and the private. And my impulse initially was to never make it public and to keep it private. But that impulse was coming from a lot of shame. It was coming from a place of not feeling good enough. Am I a good wife still? Like, well, am I really like a full woman? Like, oh my gosh, who am I now that I thought this was going to be part of my identity? Like, is it? I don't know. So I think if I could give any advice from what I've learned about being public online for almost a decade now, is that it's okay to take some things from private to the public, but I think you need to give space for yourself to move through the experience, to see how you want to share that private experience publicly. Because what I did in the beginning, I mean, I was learning, millennials, we kind of grew up online and started sharing. We're the first ones telling all our family business. And what I learned in the beginning was where I went wrong in the past was having an experience and having a private experience and immediately making it public. And that's like, didn't serve me. So for me, if I have a private experience, I'm thinking about sharing it publicly, I just need to give it a second. I need to process. I need to see what part of this do I want to share and why do I want to share it. And so when it came to my fertility journey, I knew that I wanted to share this thing that was happening. And the reason is because I wanted other women who, in that experience to feel like they are not alone. Because miscarriages happen almost up to 30% of women, especially early on, under 6 weeks and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's so many of us. We're all struggling in silence, all in our little houses. And the more we can just connect with each other and at the very least, be reminded that we're not alone, that there's not something intrinsically wrong with you, that there are other women going through this. I think, that's the reason why I decided to share.
You do a great job of having boundaries too. Because I saw a specific post. I don't remember what the post was about, but at the end it was like, and I ain't come here for no advice. It was like, okay, this is what it is, but I'm not soliciting. You don't need to tell me what you think about this. And so many people get caught up in, I got the answer, girl. This is what you got to do.
People online be doing the most.
Yeah,
I could say something like, I could be like, I just didn't really love that outfit on me. And they'll be like, me neither. I just wanted to say that. You looked bad. Did you know?
I wanted to tell you that. I'm glad you said it. Yeah, you keep it to yourself. Okay, so the Unruly retreat, right?
Yes.
Tell the people about it. The retreat, the book. Y'all getting naked at the next one? What's going on?
No, we're not.
Okay, I just want
we're
to be
not.
warned.
We're not.
Okay. Well, look right here and tell the people all of the Unruly universe, girl. What you got going in the Unruly universe?
In my Unruly universe, I have my book called Unruly, A Guide to Reclaiming Your True Self, and that is coming out October 22nd. You can get it anywhere books are sold, and you can find out everything about my retreats, my books at ShelahMarie.com, or follow me on Instagram at the Shelah Marie.
I have enjoyed this conversation. It was a long time coming. I knew it was going to be worth the wait.
It was so worth it, though.
Listen, if you have enjoyed this episode, comment down below and let me know what you liked. Share this with a friend. Subscribe to the channel. And if you are trying to live that well-kept life, I created a free community for well-kept women just like you. So check the show notes down below, and I'll see you inside. Catch me on the next episode of Girl Stop Playin'. So if you enjoyed that episode, I'm willing to bet you are absolutely going to get your entire life when you log on to everybodylied.com. Y'all, I just launched my brand new blog, which is for women like me who are stepping into the newness of life, okay? Your girl got engaged, got pregnant, got married, and became a mom all in less than a year, and life came at me fast. As life was life, and I realized that a lot of the things that I had been led to believe were a lie. Survey says that was a lie. And so I am sharing all of my lessons learned and what I have discovered to be the truth, along with some resources on my new blog, everybodylied.com. Come on over if you are a woman who is experiencing the newness of life. I'll see you there.